Hey, what's up, movie nerds? It's your girl CC, and let's get candid about The Wild Robot. So The Wild Robot is a really cute pseudo kids movie, kind of like Shrek, because it is marketed towards kids, but I think a lot of the themes and a lot of the jokes are more geared towards the adults so that everyone of all ages can enjoy it. Because really, honestly, it was phenomenal, spectacular, superb,
sublime.
I honestly believe that this movie was the best movie of 2024, and I think I'm gonna stand by that. I did watch a good few other movies in 2024. I'm trying to think if there was anything that topped The Wild Robot for me, but I don't think there was. I think The Wild Robot for me, best picture of 2024. Best picture, because it was just gorgeous. The storyline was amazing. The details were immaculate. The whole thing just hit you in every part of your heart.
Love him and love him. I don't care who knows it.
Oh my gosh. I watched it in theaters 4 times. 4 times. The last time was a week ago. And I can tell you this right now, I would watch it again. That's how good it was. And also, I cried every time. I'm not even gonna front with y'all. I cried every time I saw that movie. I've seen it 4 times. I know exactly what's going on and how it's gonna end in junk. I still cried, because it hits you here. It hits you here. I mean, if you want to watch a movie that makes you feel everything and also is just so beautiful and something that kind of pulled me back to like the 2000s. And I think it was because this movie is so original and so well done, polished, to the point where you're just like
the good old days.
Because this movie feels the way they used to, right? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying there, but I think you understand what I'm saying there. This movie is on the same playing field as like The Incredibles, Megamind, Shrek. I don't remember a movie where I've cried and then just felt so satisfied by the end. The movie was incredibly satisfying. It ended in the perfect way. We had all the closure notes. It was just chef's kiss. I mean, I am floored by this movie because it was simply amazing. But don't just take my word for it. I recommend watching this movie, highly recommend watching this movie.
It's so beautiful.
I will try to stay away from spoilers a lot in this review, but I think they will come a bit during the reasons for the rating, just like normal. So be aware, there's a spoiler alert.
Sorry, no spoilers.
So now, since I got my initial thoughts out of the way, my gushings of the movie, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the real review. So let's get into that right now. No, Boba. Boba. Now you're killing my video. No, I'm kidding. You're making it so much better. I love you, Boba girl, but I gotta finish my video. Sit. Okay, now let's get into it now.
I mean, really, let's do this, mother.
First up is acting, and I give that a 9 out of 10. Oh, the acting was really, really good. The only reason why I give it a 9 out of 10 is because there were a couple of parts where I was just like, maybe it was a little cringy because it was a kid's movie. I can only think of one little place, and that was when the robot and the fox were acting like they were happy, but they really weren't. But it was just like a little cringy. And it was just like, okay. It's a kid's movie. They needed a little bit of that tropey sort of thing in there, which is fine.
Isn't that a bit of a trope?
But that's why I give it a 9 out of 10, because honestly, it did hit all marks, really. There's a couple little things that could have been like, alright, maybe not. But all in all, honestly, this movie hit all marks with the acting. Next is the story and script, and I give that a 9 out of 10. Yep. The story was amazing, almost perfect, really. The feel-good moments, the sad moments, the scary moments, the moments where you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen? All of them worked together in a very harmonious way that caused the movie to become that much greater. The way everything was just portrayed and written was just like, we are going back to the roots of good cinema, because we need that. I mean, this was such a real and unique experience and movie to the point where it was rewatchable so many times.
Want to stay and watch it again?
We haven't really seen this anywhere else. And I think that's the core part of cinema, right? You want to go and watch a movie that you have not really seen before. Honestly, it's kind of hard to get new material nowadays because we've had 100+ years of just content, right? So at some point, we're just gonna kind of run out of some certain things. That's why we call some things tropes, right? Like it was really tropey or cliche.
That's cliche.
That's why the word came about, right? Because at some point it was just like, all right, that's a little overused, you know? But this one felt unique. It felt like we were actually getting something new. There was a couple of cliche moments. For sure. You really can't get around it, but it worked so perfectly within the story, within the movie. And I applaud the scriptwriters. Truly, it was great. And the fact that it was based on a book, I am buying the book.
What didn't you could read?
The only reason why I don't give it a 10 out of 10 is because I think there was a couple of lines that could have been better written. For instance, there was one part where a very elderly goose was talking to the robot. He was like, yes, I think he can make it if where his wings end, his heart pays the balance. I thought that was a nice line, but I think it could have been better if it was like where he ends, or where his wings or heart ends. You begin.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I understand where they were coming from with where his heart pays the balance is because the theme of this movie is so heart-oriented, and I'll get into that in the theme. But it just states that everything is the goose's abilities and the goose's achievements, right? But the robot was doing so much for the goose to the point where if the robot wasn't there, the goose wouldn't have survived. So it was just like, where he ends, you begin, because you have given him something that nobody else could have. And you're his heart, right? But the line that was given, great anyway. So all in all, again, just 9 out of 10. It was so wonderfully beautiful, really. Now for the theme, which I give a 10 out of 10. Ooh, 10 out of 10, full marks. That might be a Candid Cinema first. So yeah, let's get right into it. I think the theme was very wonderful. It is a theme that everyone can relate to, that everyone can get behind, what role models really embody. And that is, you are more than your quote-unquote programming. Like, you are more than what your circumstance or your being or who people say you are.
I'm not what they think I am.
You don't have to be your stereotype. I feel like that was the theme. The robot and the goose, they broke out of their stereotypes and created something amazing, which is this movie. I think the theme is just wonderful because you don't have to embody your stereotype. You don't. You have the choice to decide who you want to be and who you want people to see you as. So yeah, 10 out of 10 theme. Now for the details, which I give a 10 out of 10. The details were just wonderful. Honestly, the details in this movie were just very, very spot on. I think the animators did very well in portraying water and how it worked around different figures and in different environments. Not to mention the rest of the environment as well. The grass, the mud, the dirt, the trees, night and day. It just worked very well in the movie. The animators did a very good job. Also, you have the very small subtleties that just made the movie feel more real and more like you were there, like you were in it. And that was the robots, right? Every single time the robots would speak, the lights would come on their face. And it's not just that the lights would come on, the lights were in tandem with their emotions, right? So you had blue for neutral, I think, maybe yellow for anxious or concerned, red for like mad, I think purple maybe for happy. But there were just different colors for different emotions, and that was very, like, a really nice detail. To put that in there was not necessary for the movie. It was optional, 100%.
It's optional, mate.
But optional that elevates the movie. And sometimes those little optional pieces, however expensive or time consuming they may be, will elevate your movie 100%. And sometimes you just need them, right? The little sprinkle of salt.
A certain je ne sais quoi.
And also the character designs. The robots felt new, and we've had tons of robot content, right? But these robots felt new and felt unique, so that's very good. And the animals felt unique in a sense. All of the characters were characters that you would see in the wild robot, but not really anywhere else. And that's what makes a good character design. So I think the details were just wonderful. They were really good. They really outdid themselves. It was really good. DreamWorks, you've done it again.
You've outdone yourself, Peter.
All right, so before we move on, let's put out that spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
And then, let's get into the reasons for the rating. So the rating of this movie is PG and it's animated. Do I believe that it's PG? Yeah, I think it's PG. The fourth time that I saw this movie in theaters, we had 3 children with us under the age of 10, I believe. That's the age range, right? For PG all the way up to 13, right? Because then you get into PG-13. And these kids did not come out of it scared. These kids did not come out of it being like, I didn't like that movie. These kids came out of it like they liked it a lot. And that's what you want in a kid's PG movie. Even the 4-year-old that we had there was like, I liked the movie. It was really fun.
Let's do that again!
And also, there was no language, no drugs and alcohol, no sex content. Also a must for PG movies. You can't have any of those things. The only thing that I would say was gross about this movie was at one point a little possum, a little child possum, threw up on his mom. But it wasn't like graphic. It was kind of like a split-second sort of thing. There was no heaving and it wasn't colored like vomit really. And she brushed it off. We went past. Nobody made a big fuss or anything. It's just kind of what young little children do, right? So it wasn't a big deal. I didn't have any problems with it, and if you know me, I have a huge problem with vomit. Oh my gosh, I will vomit. So the fact that I didn't feel nauseous means it's okay. Now the violence. There was a lot of violence in this movie.
Don't try what you are about to see at home.
There was. I mean, this whole movie was about survival of the fittest in a un-person populated area. So it was the wild. And the wild is violent. It just happens to be. But it's all animated violence. So, like I said, the kids that were with us had no problems with it whatsoever. So as long as there's no problems with the kids that you bring 4 through like 10, you got no problems. But for the adults that were in the room, you would be like, oh, wow, they really did a lot, didn't they? Lots of animals eat other animals. There was this one little funny scene close to the end of the movie where you just see a badger pull a raccoon out of its mouth, and then the raccoon pulls a seagull out of its mouth, and then the seagull coughs up a crab. There was this one scene late at night, so it was a very dark scene, so it was like sort of like a blink and you'd miss it sort of thing, but as the robot was trying to figure junk out, right, at one point it was looking at like a crow and stuff, and then something attacks the crow, and then the robot's like, what just happened? And then in its hand was the crow's head. It was legitimately the crow's head. Like, the crow got decapitated. But it was like a 1-second on-screen thing. Blink and you'd miss it. The robot had it in his hand. It was like, huh? And then that was the whole scene, right? So 2 different geese die off screen. One goose you won't really care about. You'll just be like, aw, that's sad.
Yes, very sad. Anyway.
And one goose you will care about. There's also a good bit of guns. Maybe 3/4 of the way into the movie, we just see a lot of destruction due to the guns and robot on robot violence. So robots do destroy each other at some point. There was a lot of destruction of the said robots, but they're robots and they were bad guys. So who cares, right?
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
So, overall, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. You had to see that coming. This movie was phenomenal. I loved every moment of it. Oh my goodness, I would definitely watch this movie again, and I have 4 times. You know it's a good movie if you can watch it again and again and just see new little stuff all the time and just love it every single time. It was great. I would definitely recommend watching this movie. If you didn't get to see it in theaters, oh, I feel bad for you because it is just gorgeous on the big screen. I totally recommend watching it on streaming or renting it whenever you get the chance because it is such a good movie.
Alright, I get it!
It is such a good movie. You will just appreciate watching it. My parents loved it. My grandmother loved it. Oh, and the little kids, they loved it. It's just a movie to love from any age. Any age.
Wrap that up and give it to a child on Christmas, because we're done.
And that's it. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this movie review. If you want to see any more movies that I haven't talked about yet, which is a lot, I'm gonna tell you, please comment down below. I will try to watch as many movies as I can and review them for you. I've still got a lot of movies that I have watched in the barrel, so be looking forward to those. And make sure you like this video and subscribe, because I need more viewers like you to watch my stuff so I can give you more like this. And also share with your friends. If you think somebody you know would love to watch a movie but they're a little iffy on it, yeah, send them my way so that they can watch the review and be like, yeah, I should watch this movie. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And just remember, right here on Candid Cinema, it's okay to talk, it's okay to text, and I will see you later. Bye!